Far beneath the ocean's shimmering blue veil lies a world untouched by sunlight, a kingdom of stillness, shadows, and secrets. Here, in the pitch-black pressure of the deep sea, life doesn't thrive. It survives, adapts, and astounds. This is not the world we know. It is colder, darker, stranger. It is here, in this underwater void where mystery meets menace, that the anglerfish reigns as one of nature's most eerie, magnificent marvels. Imagine drifting through the quiet blackness of the deep ocean. There is no light, no surface, only the soft, slow ballet of creatures that glow, drift, and vanish in silence. And then, like a spark in the dark, you see it. A flickering light, faint and dancing, like a ghostly lantern suspended in the water. But this is no beacon of hope. This is bait. This is deception. This is the anglerfish. She is not beautiful in the traditional sense. With a gaping crescent mouth full of glassy dagger-like teeth and eyes that seem to gleam with ancient secrets, the female anglerfish is a vision of primal evolution. Her body is short, stubby, and lumpy, covered in rough skin that defies elegance. But what she lacks in glamour, she makes up for in ingenuity. For on her head grows a long curved spine, an extension of her dorsal fin that ends in a bulbous lure glowing with bioluminescence. That tiny flickering orb is the anglerfish's secret weapon. Like a nightlight in a nursery of nightmares, it hangs just inches from her mouth, pulsating with a glow that hypnotizes the curious and the foolish. In the deep sea, where food is rarer than starlight, this glow is irresistible. Small fish, shrimp, or even unsuspecting squid can't help but approach. And when they do, snap! The anglerfish's jaws unhinge with lightning speed, sucking prey into a mouth that can swallow creatures nearly her own size. But where does this magical light come from? How does something living in utter darkness create such dazzling illumination? The answer is both scientific and surreal. Within the anglerfish's lure, live colonies of bioluminescent bacteria. These microscopic companions don't live there by accident. They and the anglerfish share a mysterious bond, symbiosis, where both benefit from each other's existence. These bacteria glow using a chemical reaction involving luciferin and luciferase, aptly named after the Latin word for light bringer. And that soft blue-green flicker, invisible to predators but magnetic to prey, gives the anglerfish its otherworldly allure. This isn't just biology, this is deep-sea alchemy, a partnership older than myths, a glowing pact made in the cold depths of time. If you've pictured an anglerfish, odds are it's the female you're imagining, that horrifying, captivating beast with the lantern lure and a mouth like a nightmare. But here's where the tale takes a truly wild turn. Because when it comes to gender roles in the anglerfish world, the rules are flipped, twisted, and swallowed whole. Male anglerfish are tiny, comically tiny. They're born with a single mission, to find a female and fuse with her, literally. They don't have lures, they don't hunt, they barely eat. Their only tool is a nose so sensitive it can detect the scent of a female anglerfish from kilometers away in the dark. And when he finds her, he bites her skin and never lets go. Over time, he becomes part of her. His body fuses into hers. His organs shrink away. His eyes vanish. His brain dissolves. He becomes a pair of testicles, permanently attached to the queen of the deep, supplying sperm whenever she needs it. It sounds like science fiction, but it's not. It's nature, wild, unfiltered, and mind-bendingly strange. This isn't love as we know it. This is not roses and candlelight. This is love as necessity, as sacrifice. In a world so dark and empty, finding a mate might happen once in a lifetime. There's no dating, no second chances. So when the male finds the female, he gives himself up completely. He dissolves into her life. One female anglerfish can have multiple males attached to her, tiny little bodies clinging to her sides like forgotten scars. Each one a memory, a moment, a biological backup system. It's haunting. It's mesmerizing. It's the kind of story that only the ocean could write. How does a creature like the anglerfish survive in one of the harshest habitats on Earth? The deep sea is no gentle garden. It's a place of crushing pressure, near freezing temperatures, and endless hunger. But the anglerfish is built for this. Her bones are light, her muscles soft. Her metabolism is slow, patient, enduring. She doesn't race through life. She drifts. She waits. She endures. Some anglerfish can go weeks, or even months, without food. Their stomachs stretch to accommodate whatever unfortunate soul wanders into their orbit. They waste nothing. Every inch of their body is honed by millions of years of survival. They are not predators of speed. They are predators of stillness. In a place where the sun never shines, light becomes legend. Down in the blackened belly of the ocean, bioluminescence is everything. It's a whisper, a weapon, a signal, a seduction. For the anglerfish, it's all of these and more. Her glowing lure doesn't just attract prey, it tells a story to the sea. It says, "Here I am, come closer," while her shadow says, "And now, disappear." But the anglerfish is far from alone in her luminous ways. All around her, the deep sea shimmers like a ghostly ballroom. Tiny creatures blink in bursts of color. Jellyfish pulse with rainbow flashes. Squid dance in flickers of blue and violet. It's a slow, silent ballet, a choreography of survival in a world where the only visible thing is the light you make yourself. For humans, light means hope. For the anglerfish, it means dinner. It means danger. It means dominance. That single glowing bulb, fed by bacteria older than the dinosaurs, turns her from an invisible lump to a fearsome hunter. It's as if she carries a spark of the stars in her head, a personal galaxy, flickering with hunger and deceit. Nature is a brilliant designer, but she's also a rule breaker, and nowhere is that clearer than in the anglerfish. Every part of her body is a defiance of normalcy, a challenge to what we think life should look like. Her teeth curve inward like glass needles. Once you're in her mouth, there is no escape. Her jaw can snap open wide enough to swallow prey almost as big as she is. Her stomach stretches like rubber, a pouch built to hold prizes won in hunger's quiet war. But perhaps the strangest part of all is what science calls sexual parasitism. It's not just a quirky adaptation, it's a complete rewrite of what it means to be a male, to sacrifice individuality, to abandon freedom, to become a part of someone else's body forever. Imagine if humans worked this way. Imagine if our idea of love meant giving up your voice, your name, your face, just to be close to another. It's alien, it's shocking, and yet it works. In the deep sea, such extremes are not just accepted, they're necessary. Evolution down here doesn't reward beauty. It rewards efficiency. It rewards the bizarre. Long before science explored the sea, humans feared it. We told stories of sea monsters, creatures with glowing eyes and endless mouths, waiting beneath the waves to swallow ships whole. The anglerfish, though unknown by name, lives in the heart of those old myths. She is the lantern carrier, the deceiver, and the monster of the deep. In old sailor tales, there were whispers of glowing devils in the black waters, eyes like stars, teeth like saws. Some believed these lights were spirits guiding lost souls. Others thought they were curses. And while we now know the truth is biological, it doesn't take much imagination to see how the anglerfish could inspire such fear. Even now, with submarines and sonar, we know so little about the deep sea. Less than 5% of our oceans have been explored. That means there could be hundreds, thousands of species, like the anglerfish still hiding in the dark. Waiting, watching, glowing. We've sent robots to Mars. We've mapped the genome of mankind. But when it comes to the deep ocean, we are still fumbling in the dark. The anglerfish continues to baffle scientists. How do her bacteria know when to glow? Why can she fuse with males without triggering an immune response? How did this tiny, twisted ecosystem evolve in such perfect balance? Some deep-sea anglerfish can live more than a mile below the surface, where the pressure is so intense it would crush a human like a tin can. And yet she floats, effortless and patient, as though it were the most natural thing in the world. She doesn't fight the ocean, she becomes part of it. Marine biologists still struggle to study anglerfish in the wild. Their bodies are too delicate to survive the journey to the surface. Most specimens arrive as little more than jelly, so most of what we know comes from rare glimpses, deep-sea footage, and preserved remains. It's like trying to learn about tigers from bones and shadows. But perhaps that's what makes her so hauntingly beautiful. The anglerfish remains a mystery, not because we haven't tried to understand her, but because she lives in a world we can barely reach. You might think the deep sea is safe from humanity's chaos. After all, it's vast, dark, and distant. But even here, our influence seeps in. Pollution, deep-sea mining, and climate change are reaching further and deeper than ever before. Microplastics have been found in the stomachs of deep-sea creatures. Noise pollution from ships disrupts the eerie stillness of the abyss. Warming waters could change the delicate balance of the deep-sea ecosystem. The anglerfish doesn't care for the surface. But what we do up here still affects her. Scientists worry that changes in ocean currents and temperature could impact the food chains that sustain deep-sea life. If those tiny fish and shrimp that wander into the anglerfish's trap start to vanish, she could vanish too. And yet, we protect what we understand. The anglerfish, strange as she is, deserves to be known, not just as a monster or a curiosity, but as a symbol of how life adapts, thrives, and astonishes, even in the darkest corners of our world. There's something about the anglerfish that draws us in, not with admiration, but with fascination. She is not the kind of creature we would paint on walls or raise in tanks. She is grotesque, toothy, alien. But therein lies her power. We cannot look away because she doesn't just live in the deep ocean, she lives in the deep corners of our imagination. Horror movies have borrowed her image, creatures with wide, devouring jaws and glowing eyes. Fantasy tales have painted her as a beast of trickery and illusion, and yet, in truth, she is not monstrous. She is survival. She is elegance wrapped in fright. Like a haunted mirror, the anglerfish reflects our fear of the unknown, of the dark, of what lurks where we cannot see. But perhaps that fear is misplaced. Perhaps the anglerfish isn't a nightmare at all. Perhaps she's a reminder that in a world obsessed with light, there is still beauty in the shadows. What can we learn from such a creature? A fish that glows in darkness, that lures with light, that mates by melting love into flesh. Surprisingly, the anglerfish teaches us more about resilience and evolution than many animals ever could. She reminds us that life doesn't need to be loud to be powerful, that the quietest beings may possess the most astonishing stories, that survival doesn't always come from speed or strength, but from patience, adaptation, and the clever use of what you have. Her light may be small, but it is enough. In her world, that means everything. She also shows us that love, in nature, is rarely romantic. It is transactional, brutal, even tragic, but it is still connection. Even in the deepest dark, life finds a way to hold on to life. In the end, the anglerfish is not just an animal. She is a phenomenon, a truth told in teeth and glow. She is the heartbeat of an ecosystem we can barely touch, barely know, and yet must protect. The image of the anglerfish has seeped into our culture like moonlight into a dream. Children's books whisper about her glowing head. Animations like Pixar's Finding Nemo gave her a spotlight, portraying her as both terrifying and mesmerizing. Artists paint her not just as a creature, but as a metaphor for temptation, isolation, and the power of illusion. In literature, she becomes the seductress. In sculpture, the hunter. In dreams, she's the ghostly figure chasing us through deep waters, her light flickering like a question we don't dare answer. And yet, despite all this storytelling, none of it surpasses the strangeness of her reality. The truth of the anglerfish is always stranger than fiction, because fiction must make sense, but the ocean doesn't care for sense, it only cares for survival. And she, the anglerfish, is its glowing daughter. The story of the anglerfish is not a fairy tale, it's a myth wrapped in science, a marvel wrapped in jaws, a miracle cloaked in the midnight blue of the ocean's heart. She lives in a world we rarely visit, but she holds truths we need to remember. That light can be born from darkness. That beauty is not always gentle. That survival wears many masks, and some of them have teeth. Her realm is one of silence and shadow, but her lantern never dims. It floats, it pulses, it waits, not for glory, not for fame, but because it must, because in her world it's glow or go hungry, and she, above all, is a survivor. So next time you gaze out into the sea or stare into a darkened room and wonder what waits beyond your vision, remember her, the anglerfish, the ghost that glows, the queen of the abyss, a creature born of darkness, yet forever carrying her own star.